Hello, everybody. My name is Ella Shelby from Power Intelligence. Welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about Michael Jackson. So, hence, today I am using my Power Intelligence skills of mediumship combined with remote viewing. So, and today I am joined by Anna, and she is going to be asking me a series of questions starting from even before Michael was born. So, hello, Anna.
Hi, Ella. So, Michael Joseph Jackson, born 29th of August 1958. Known as the King of Pop, he's regarded as one of the most significant figures of the 20th century. His early years and success, his public debut was in 1964 at the age of 6 as a member of the Jackson Five. He really was a musical prodigy. His singing and dancing talents were amazingly mature, and he soon became the dominant voice and focus of the Jackson Five. Remarkable, even as a toddler, really, Michael had blossoming talents. Tell us about all of this, Ella.
I'm going to start even before he was born. His mother did her best to eat well, keep herself healthy, and keep Michael away from the abuse during her pregnancy with him. I can hear her mother humming and singing while she was pregnant. Very, very cheerful lady. She liked being pregnant, as Joe did not demand sex, that was her husband, and did not abuse her physically. She was abused verbally, yes. She just completely switched off, ignored him in her head. She used to say, God bless, I have my children. Thank you, God. I can smell her perfume. She likes to dress well and smell good at all time. And she did that into her elderly age. Where while Michael was in his mother's womb, music was abundant. The vibration of constant singing and sounds were absorbed through his tiny embryo as he developed during the pregnancy. He also absorbed the abuse, the verbal abuse of his father. Upon his birth, his soft coos and girdles resonated like an enchanting everybody around him. Once he started crawling, it was like a dance. He used to shuffle like this when he was crawling. I can see him doing it, and it's actually quite cute. When he started walking and talking, he transformed overnight into an amazing singer and dancer. Everybody in his family, also their friends, they were speechless at his outstanding talent. I don't believe this was a past life experience for Michael with his talents. These talents were developed in his mother's womb.
His childhood abuse has been well documented, Ella. Joe Jackson was a monstrous father. Michael was so afraid of being in the presence of his physically abusive father that it made him vomit, he told Oprah in an interview in 1993.
Mhm.
Take us through this horrid abuse and how it affected him.
Firstly, his father, I can actually smell alcohol on his breath. He is very insecure and lacks the talent that his children possesses. He was neither loyal or faithful to Michael's mother. The reason for the abuse on the children was because of their world famous talent. Even though he organized all this, he was plain and simply jealous. He was physically and mentally abusive to all the children. The children to him were only good for one thing, making money. That's all. This man had an addictive personality, throwing money around only on himself, plus other women. This affected Michael on a really intense physical and psychological level. Michael's telling me that he hated how he looked when he looked in the mirror. All he saw when he looked at himself was his father. This is the reason why he destroyed his natural good looks. Also, Michael is saying he wanted his own children were not from the same gene pool as his father's heritage. He is saying he loved his mother and his sisters very, very much.
The other children in the family have not spoken out about this extreme physical abuse. Is it because they wanted to keep it private?
Oh, completely, completely. They wanted to stay silent on the subject. Handling fame for them was hard enough as it was because they were all young when they started, and that's why they wanted to keep their private life private.
So, Ella, this is Latoya Jackson next to her father, and she said she had been sexually abused and another sister too, but she didn't specify in these interviews. Take us through, Ella.
Yes, as you can see, she does is mourning her father's death, but with what he did had a huge impact on her. When Joe was high on alcohol and other substances, yes, he did rape the girls. He did not see them as his daughters. They were there to use and abuse. Michael saw this, and what he used to do was he used to sneak into his sister's room when he was scared. So he'd be sleeping with the girls. And what his father would do at night when everybody was asleep, he would go into the girls' rooms and he would pick Michael up and put him on the floor. And he would sexually abuse the girls. This made him very scared of any sexual contact with anybody. And Michael is actually asexual. That's what he was telling me. But in himself, he was telling everybody that he was heterosexual because he wanted to be normal. He had no interest in sex whatsoever. Every time he thought about sex, that's all he could see was his sisters being abused, sadly.
How old was he when he was experiencing his sisters being raped, Ella?
Very young, especially the older one, very young.
Michael Jackson achieved solo stardom with the release of his fifth album, Off the Wall, in 1979, and followed it up with Thriller in 82, which is the best-selling album of all time. Michael Jackson has earned 39 Guinness World Records and was the first artist to generate seven top 10 hits in the States with Thriller. To his fans, he created magic. Tell us about his creativity.
He has a natural born talent combined with the safety of his own fantasy land he lived in 24/7. This is what a lot of people don't know about Michael, is that he was sending me images of creator Walt Disney and the many wonderful children's films this man created. This is Michael's mind. Combine these with elements, his two elements, his magical talent of singing and dancing, and then you have, for example, the song Thriller.
In the 1990s, the downside of being a 1980s pop phenomenon really began to rear itself. Michael grew terribly childlike and introverted by his lonely celebrity. A rather shy, androgynous figure to begin with, his physical appearance began to change drastically, and his behavior grew alarmingly bizarre, making him a constant target for scandal making. Despite his numerous charitable acts and two brief marriages, one to Lisa Marie Presley, and two children by his second wife during that time, he was surrounded by controversy. What was happening to him?
Yeah, Michael Jackson's childlike behavior was who he fundamentally was. His two marriages were an attempt to fit the mold of being a normal heterosexual man. These relationships only reminded him of his sisters being sexually abused. As I mentioned, he is asexual. For Michael, it was vital that his children did not share the same genetic pool as his father. Every time he looked at himself, he could only see his father. With his immense wealth, he had the ability to create a world he desired in every aspect. Ultimately, his actions were completely harmless.
There were numerous allegations against Michael, and a financial settlement was reached. Basically, Jackson and his legal team stressed that none of the financial agreements were an admission of guilt, and the allegations damaged Michael's public image, health, and commercial standing. Several of his endorsement deals were cancelled, including the decade-long Pepsi endorsement. Further allegations of abuse by Jackson led to the People v. Jackson trial in 2005, in which he was acquitted. Was he innocent, Ella?
Michael only felt 100% safe with children. I can clearly see him having pajama parties with his friends. He did not touch any of the children in any inappropriate manner. Yes, a cuddle, like a child would give. He was completely innocent. Michael was simply a child in a man's body. This destroyed Michael in every way.
Michael sadly died June 25th, 2009, at the age of 50. His personal physician, Conrad Murray, said he found Jackson in his bedroom not breathing and with a weak pulse. He administered CPR. Later, it was concluded that Jackson's death was a homicide, um, and was involuntary manslaughter. Jackson had been administered drugs by his doctor. Murray was convicted of involuntary manslaughter. And what's even more heartbreaking is at the time of death, Jackson had been preparing for a series of comeback concerts. This Is It, which was due to begin in July 2009, literally the next month. And it was going to start in London. What happened?
Michael is telling me that he didn't want to participate in a comeback tour at all. He wasn't interested. He needed the money because his funds had run out due to the enormous surgeries he underwent to alter his physical appearance, plus a few stage injuries. He was in constant pain and he was actually addicted to drugs. That's what happened. The allegations regarding the children marked a turning point for him. He just wanted to die. He is pleased to have passed over and he's telling me that he's happy. He felt no one ever understood him. Nobody at all. But he is at peace now.
So great to hear you say that, Ella, because a lot of people really felt their heart go out to Michael Jackson, and we wish him all the rest and happiness in his peace.
Yes, yes. He was just he was just a child in a man's body. That's what all that heavy abuse did to him. He just didn't develop psychologically. And that was his safety net. And also he was asexual. And very sadly, he tried to fit the mold of normal society. But I
If he was
feel,
around now, he would have been accepted.
oh, 100%, 100%. But then again, his childlike behavior and the way he was with children, like they were just his playmates, I don't feel that would have ever been accepted. And he knows that. He knows that now. So rest in peace. God bless Michael Jackson.